7 things you really don't need to buy. Are you someone who buys random and useless items that don't hold much value, but rather end up building extra and unnecessary stress in your life? Or is it that time of year when you're a little strapped for cash, so figuring out to save money sounds like a pretty good idea? Sure, you can make a traditional budget and only spend a certain amount of money per week. But how about figuring out what you don't need to spend money on at all? Intrigued? If yes, then this video is perfect for you, because in this video, we are going to walk you through the top 7 things that you really don't need to buy, starting today. So watch till the end to know how to make your savings skyrocket in a few months' time. And hold on tight, because in this video, you're in for the best financial roller coaster ride of your life. With that said, let's get this video rolling. Number 1. Musical instruments. The first thing that you need to say bye-bye to are musical instruments. That's because whether you're thinking about finally taking guitar lessons or buying your child an instrument for the school band, purchasing expensive musical instruments can make you spend thousands of dollars in one sitting, which honestly can be too much for a tiny flute. The tip is that if you are really invested in starting your musical career, buying used musical instruments can help you save way more. This is especially true if you're not worried about the brand you are buying, because as with most things, you will have to pay half of what you would pay for a new notable music brand instrument. And the best place where you can find great deals on instruments are, you guessed it, local thrift stores and pawn shops. You can also check sites such as Craigslist and Facebook for people selling locally. Buying locally is always a better option because you won't have to worry about your item getting damaged during shipping from an online store. Of course, if you can't find any local place to shop from, you can definitely try some fantastic deals online as well. Just make sure the company or seller insures the item, so you are guaranteed to get it safely and without delay. Also, sometimes you can even look out and find people who are getting rid of good instruments at yard sales. So, don't forget to ask friends and family if they want to sell any instrument they no longer use before heading to your local market or starting your shopping spree online. Number 2. Excessive hobby supplies. Talking about hobbies, the second thing that you should really stop buying are expensive hobby supplies. That's because while hobbies are great for giving you an outlet that encourages creativity and a productive way of passing the time, they can often become a huge expense if you aren't careful enough. One way this happens is usually in the form of stocking up and hoarding supplies that you don't need. For instance, if you love collecting journals, certain traditional journals can cost you $100 to $250, or in some cases, supplementary materials along with the journal can cost you a whopping $150 to $500. A better alternative that you can try is to make your own journals at home. Not sure where to start? Worry not! YouTube's got you covered. There are hundreds of tutorials for beginners on how to make journals at home, and the best part is that these tutorials are completely free. So, what are you waiting for? Instead of buying, start making your journals at home today. Another tip is to try to avoid buying a bunch of supplies even if they are inexpensive, and better if you have supplies you don't need or don't plan on using, why not sell them? This is a really good way you can get back at least a portion of your money by reselling hobby supplies you don't plan to use anymore. Now that's a clever bargain, right? Number 3. Lottery tickets. Are you a lottery ticket collecting enthusiast? If your answer is yes, then definitely adding these tickets to the things that you don't need to buy is a good start, because while it's a well-known fact that you can't win if you don't play, you also know all too well that the chances of winning through lottery tickets are microscopic, especially when compared to basic investment strategies, such as consistently contributing to retirement accounts. Spending a few bucks on lottery tickets just doesn't make sense at all. So while, according to a 2019 report from Bankrate, American consumers spend an average of $86 a month on lottery tickets, ditching this highly addictive habit can help you save about $1,032 a year. Now, if that's not mind-blowing, then not sure what is. So, choose wisely, because even a few bucks spent on lottery tickets can quickly add up and topple your budget entirely in just one go. Number 4. Dried fruits and canned products. Another thing that you should cancel off your list right now is store-bought dried fruit, applesauce, and canned pears. That's because even if they look small, buying canned products can significantly add up to your budget, up to $5,215.83 to feed just one person for a year. Not quite a small amount, right? A much cheaper and healthier way that you can try is to learn how to dry your own fruit and prepare canned vanilla pears and fresh applesauce during the harvest season. Don't know how to do it? Again, don't worry, because YouTube tutorials for beginners have got you covered. So what are you waiting for? Say no to cans and yes to fresh produce starting today. Number 5. The latest electronics. Did you know that most people are not embarrassed to drive a 2009 Toyota Camry, or put their food in a 2002 refrigerator, or even a 1992 fridge even today? But walk around with a 4-year-old iPhone and people immediately think you're some kind of caveman. Bummer, right? So if you're one of these cavemen, then this next tip is for you. Did you know that companies often play into this insecurity and encourage customers to upgrade at least every 2 years, just to make their marketing schemes successful? Real sneaky. And did you know that phones depreciate between 38 to 76% in the first year? So that if you fork out $400 on a new phone, you're looking at a loss of $150 to $300. But hey, don't worry. Every cloud has a silver lining, right? The tip here is that instead of buying expensive electronics every month, you can save up to 50% off retail prices by purchasing used electronics. You can also find electronics in decent shape in pawn shops, thrift stores, or on sites such as eBay or Facebook Marketplace, which will cost you next to nothing. The rule that you need to apply when it comes to buying electronics is the same rule you apply to vehicles. Don't buy the latest model available. Instead, either wait a few months to buy or get the prior model to save a good chunk of cash for your savings account. Now, how about that? Number 6. Sell items. The 5th and one of the most important things is that you don't need to buy every other item that you come across on sales day. That's because, for example, if you end up spending $1,000 on a shopping trip and think that everything was actually worth $1,500 and you saved $500 because of the sale, as it was 50% off, that might not be the case. Because if you give it a thought, you didn't actually save $500. You spent $1,000 on items you actually didn't need. And worse, you have that much amount less in your bank today than you had yesterday. Think about that. So going forward, remember, just because something's on sale doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to save money on the item by buying it. The tip, therefore, is when you need something, just go out and buy that thing without getting affected by sales and discounts. And of course, there are obvious times where sales can make sense. For instance, where the sale is coming up in winter and their summer items are on sale, or vice versa. That's fine. But if you're talking about the 70% off carpet blowout sale or the mattress blowout sale, then that's a big no-no. And this actually goes for couponing as well. That's because even if you use coupons, you can end up spending twice or thrice as much money by thinking that it is essential to buy 3 or 4 to get 1 free and eventually end up spending more money, which is definitely not a smart financial move, to be honest. So just keep this tip in mind as you go forward with buying items on sale in the future, which will also ultimately help you rack in some savings as well. Neat. Number 7. Snacks. Do you love munching on snacks when you're happy, sad, depressed, or just plain bored? No doubt, while everyone loves a good snack, these snacks certainly can get pricey. A packet of biscuits here, a container of fruit there, and before you know it, you've dropped $20. But if the thought of letting go of your favorite Munchables is haunting you, Instead of letting yourself die of hunger all day trying to buy your favorite treats in bulk, instead of in ones or twos, as they are expensive, so you can bring your own snacks when you head out for the day. Some good places that you can keep your snacks in can include your car, your backpack, and your desk at work. That way, you'll be less likely to waste money at the vending machine. Oh, and bonus point if you make the snacks yourself, that's the best option ever, period. With that said, if you have gotten yourself into the bad habit of spending things that you really shouldn't buy, like dropping cash on canned foods, expensive gadgets, musical instruments, or pricey snacks, try cutting back on these things, and you're sure to save yourself a lot of cash for days to come. This is all for today, folks. We really hope you enjoyed the video and learned a thing or two about things that you really don't need to buy anymore. And if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, share, and hit that subscription notification button, and we'll see you guys again next week. Till then, ciao!